Hello, my IBMOR brothers, back again. I was watching a YouTube channel called The Grapevine, and they were doing a segment on are men intimidated by successful women? And a couple of snippets reminded me of the videos I did on women as breadwinners. And this Nigerian woman, this Nigerian feminist, was talking about the what you call the rigid gender roles and toxic masculinity and that kind of stuff. Her name was Uchechi. So I thought it was kind of interesting, almost like an addendum to the video I put up of Liz Mundy talking about the richer sex. And a lot of the talking points that Uchechi is going through reminds me quite a lot of Liz Mundy. So I'll play the cut from The Grapevine, and I'll be back on the other side to talk about what she said.
Okay, which you go ahead?
I actually think he brings up a good point about looking at it as competition. For so long, men are. This is why one of the reasons that this question is one of the reasons why I think that gender roles are bullshit. Because a lot of times who we are attached to these roles. And so when these roles are reversed or are they changed, like people start to lose a sense of themselves.
Can you give us a brief example of gender roles? And
so gender roles, men are considered the providers, the breadwinner, the person who works, the protector. Women are considered the nurturers, home carer. Children they take care of the children. Like very archaic roles for men, and very rigid roles for men and women. When they lack fluidity, they really bring a lot of turmoil into relationships between the genders. Something else that I've also recognized is that so there are more successful women, but there's not a society that supports them and also offers them mates. So we've been
so you see a lot of single.
So what happens is that we've created these systems. We've brought up. We're like, women are pushing for more success. There's they're pushing down these doors and opening these doors. However, we still live in a society that caters to these archaic gender roles. And so when you do that, you don't allow yourself, you don't allow for men, and this is another reason why toxic masculinity is an issue, you don't allow for men to be accustomed and to be accepting of women with success above theirs.
So you bring up a good point. So I had the pleasure of reading
You can hear Uchechi actually talk about the gender roles. She says they're bullshit, that it lacks fluidity, and when gender roles lack fluidity, it causes a breakdown in between the genders, because we have these rigid roles, and basically men can't accept their place. That's what she's really saying. If a woman's more successful, then society won't allow men to accept their role in the family if the woman's more successful and more dominant. And because the gender roles are rigid and they lack fluidity, men are intimidated by a woman's success. So she was saying, if you get rid of toxic masculinity, men will be more docile, in my opinion. These are my words, more docile, and they'll be more pliable, because in her mind, I do believe she believes women are more pliable and they're more willing to accept whatever gender roles that they're put in. One thing that really jumped out at me is when she was talking about society, and it's something that feminism points to, that society has pushed them to succeed, pushed them to test boundaries, pushed them to open doors and knock down walls and rush to and succeed. But in her idea, in her mind, that society doesn't support these women in their roles, and doesn't offer them mates. Now, it's not clear what kind of mates that women like her want to be offered. I assume it's the 6'4", 100K a year, rigid abs with a great personality, and that's funny. That unicorn of a man, the masters of the universe, that on-point simp that will bend to her will since she's so successful. But it's something that Liz Mundy was talking about during her speech about those gender roles and how rigid and sticky they are, how it's difficult to knock down these persistent gender roles, that only been around 100,000 years. And society should change on a dime because these women are crashing the gates and taking the flag and getting the win. Anyway, we're going on to our second cut.
Carl High.
I kind of see where Carl is coming from. I also kind of think that the line of thinking is a bit dangerous.
Because he thought he had him. He thought he had him.
Because he's right. If you cannot subscribe to, you cannot say you subscribe to traditional gender roles and then say you are not intimidated because successful women really do disrupt the dynamics of traditional gender roles.
Yeah, they do.
The only thing is with Carl's role, what Carl's saying is my issue with it was the fact that we kind of tend to demean housework, which can easily be monetized because you pay people to take care of your children, you pay people to clean your house, you pay all of this stuff. So that stuff is actually, even though it's not a
tangible money.
A tangible money. It's something that can be monetized and can be paid. So it's actually it's a significant contribution.
Yeah,
so, but the thing is like, you know, men for so long have been in, like, I think several people have said this. Men have been for so long been in control of the household. So the idea of relinquishing that or having a position where they cannot offer that, it's really fucking with them. So and I think that's what this whole conversation is. This conversation ends up creating is the idea that, like, now I have to, like somebody said, like, I have to really acknowledge what I consider to be money, what I consider to be power. Another thing, sorry, let me just. So one thing I also wanted to say is how somebody said that Mouse said that women are gonna find somebody in a lesser tax bracket. Black women have been doing that for forever. We've been in the particularly black women, we've been in the workforce forever. We've been dating below in our tax bracket forever. You know, it's very accepting. The issue, but the reason this question exists is because of that. Is because
the issues that arise.
The issues that arise because black men. Specifically, we are trying to escape white supremacy by appealing to white patriarchy, and so when you have successful women within that, like, once again, it disrupts that, and it doesn't work. So the thing is, it's like, so black women are saying like, no, because especially black women, they're interested in dating within their own. So regardless of your tax, whatever money you make, they're gonna date you. But the thing is, it's like black men really have to disengage themselves from this idea that they have, and have to be okay with it, and then not feel as if leadership is lost within it.
Wait, I gotta keep it.
As usual, as far as gender roles are concerned, basically telling black men basically to shut up and accept your place. She was saying how black women have been doing this forever, dating down forever, been more successful forever. If they've been doing it forever, then why all of a sudden is there a problem? Why all of a sudden can't we accept the gender roles? What she's saying to escape for black men is fucking with them because they've been on top forever. They can't have both. Can't have it both ways. Either black men have been on top or they haven't been on top. If black women have been doing this forever and dating down forever, and black men have been ingesting, you can't have it both ways. White supremacy has been around for a very long time. So black men are trying to escape white supremacy or the things of white supremacy by adopting white patriarchy. And if black men just stop trying to accept white patriarchy or trying to be masculine, then everything will be okay. Just let us run it. You do what we say, the way we say it, and how we say it, and everything will be fine. You won't be intimidated. Even though black women stick to gender roles because it gets their coochie wet. They like masculine men. They like being with masculine men. But the thing is, they want to be in control of masculine. They want traditionally masculine men to act like non-traditional men. That is what? Emotional thinking, as usual. Black girl magic will solve everything. So imagine being male and hearing this kind of talk and this kind of gibberish. and then trying to figure it out. If white feminists are having problems with it, why don't you think black men are having problems with it? Black feminists are sometimes some of the looniest people I've ever heard. They try to make up slogans and fancy words, and all of a sudden that's supposed to define reality. And black men are supposed to be overwhelmed and dazzled by their education and their fancy words, that we're supposed to bow down and say, "All hail, mighty queen, goddess of the night," and go along with it. Nobody ever asked what black men want. They said you should just go along, whatever the program is, and everything will be fine. Act like a woman. It is what it is, but I thought I'd throw these two clips in there. I'll drop in the link to the Grapevine so that you can peruse at your leisure if you don't throw up in your mouth behind this feminist talk. And the mostly sympathetic feminist men actually agree with most of this. Anyway, didn't want to make this too long. With that, I'm going to drop out. Till next time, this is BGS out.